government was required to keep that program running. The Trump administration has not said how much money will help partially fund the program. It can normally take up to 2 weeks to load beneficiaries' debit cards. Now, the government shutdown is also having a huge impact on air travel. Staffing shortages of air traffic controllers who are working without pay have contributed to widespread delays and cancellations nationwide. Stephanie Gosk is covering that part of the story for us from Newark Airport.
Newark International has had problems with staff shortages for a while now, creating delays at this airport. But then you take the government shutdown and you put that on top of it, and it was a really tough weekend here. There were over 100 cancellations, people dealing with delays over 3 hours. And of course, it wasn't just here in Newark. It was at airports around the country dealing with the same sorts of issues because of the government shutdown. You had LAX and Nashville have ground stoppages. Also in Houston, there were long delays. And now the Secretary of Transportation is saying this is only going to get worse. Federal workers are a real pressure point at the airports. 2 of them. You have the TSA workers as well as air traffic controllers, and there have been shortages of air traffic controllers before this government shutdown hit. And now people who come to this airport, including here in Newark, they come cautiously optimistic that the day is going to go okay. But as the day goes on, delays and cancellations could stack up again. Back to you.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is meeting with allies across Asia. His latest stop is South Korea, and you can see this was this morning showing Hegseth departing Vietnam for South Korea. That will be the last stop of his trip. He's already been to Japan and Malaysia, and at each stop, Hegseth met with national leaders discussing in part countering China's growing influence in economic development. Turning now to a developing story we're following. Recovery efforts are underway after a 6.3 magnitude earthquake rocked northern Afghanistan. The quake struck near one of Afghanistan's largest cities, Mazar-e-Sharif, over the weekend. And this is video of damage in Samarkand province, one of the several. 300 other people are injured. Officials say the rescue teams and assess the damage in Afghanistan. To England now, where British police charged a 32-year-old man with attempted murder over a mass stabbing attack on a train over the weekend that wounded 11 people. Molly Hunter reports from London.
The details coming out of this attack are really terrifying. It happened Saturday night, of course, Halloween weekend. Lots of people coming into London for parties. And police say the stabbing rampage started just after the train made a stop at a little town called Peterborough. At that point, this is described, and people kind of run with blood dripping down their face. Blood. It's a couple of prank, of course, a weekend, and people really saved lives. The first is an unnamed rail worker, according to the UK Transport Secretary, who they say detectives and the Transport Secretary has seen video of him attempting to stop the attacker from injuring more people. And the second person is the train driver who made the very quick decision to make an emergency stop at the next train station, Huntingdon. That allowed police and emergency responders and services to be waiting at that train station just 8 minutes after the first emergency call. We've seen video of police pinning down, actually apprehending, taking 2 men into custody. Well, one of those 2 men has been released. The other, Anthony Williams, he's a 30 Peterborough. He is charges of attempted murder, 1 charge of possession of a blade. He is also facing charges, police say, from a previous incident on Saturday of attempted murder. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
In Europe, a tower in the heart of Italy has partially collapsed while being renovated. Hundreds of tourists watched as rescue crews used a ladder in an attempt to rescue a trapped worker. During that, another part of the structure collapsed, sending up a cloud of debris, as you see here. That forced crews to retreat. Officials say 4 workers were eventually rescued. One of them is in critical condition. That looks very unstable. The Torre de Conte was built in the 13th century by Pope Innocent III as a residence for his family. The tower was damaged in a 1349 earthquake and suffered subsequent collapses in the 17th century. Well, they promised to help toddlers cook, play, and learn, but could these trendy toddler towers put your child at risk? What parents need to know before bringing one home.